Also, this is my wife's idea to actually include the people who have commented our previous two Asus videos and address their issues. So I have tried to answer some of the questions asked by the commenters in those two videos. I'm going to butcher everyone's name, so deal with it. I'm sorry in advance. Thank you. In the most recent Asus Zephyrus Duo 16 ROG laptop video where I mentioned that the drivers go missing so randomly, that issue still exists even after using the laptop for more than 2 months. In this video, I try to demonstrate how I can get it back. I do show you a couple of ways how you can navigate through this issue. It is not a big deal in my opinion, but it is just annoying. The first comment in the list is by Z-Cross. Don't update AMD Radeon driver from AMD. Use the latest driver from Asus webpage only and you will be fine. For the Nvidia driver, you can use the latest from Nvidia with no problems. Of course, I don't have any problem with Radeon driver or with Nvidia driver. The graphic cards are pretty good. I have the same laptop. If you use AMD 23.4 point something and above, all hell breaks loose. Random freezes, black screens while switching GPUs. With Asus provided AMD Radeon driver, it runs flawlessly. As a general rule, never update integrated GPU drivers from the chip manufacturer on dual GPU laptops. The driver provided from the manufacturer of the laptop is tweaked for smooth operation of switchable graphics. I don't know much about this, but I understand. If you're having the same problem as Z-Cross, then try to follow his advice. Maybe it's helpful. Thanks for your comment, Z-Cross. The second comment is by Clementlin 1074. I have also gotten the same model and it does have some issues too from the BIOS update where it got some issues with graphic card went not detected and also frequent random crashes. I got it resolved by doing factory reset. I am not in a mood to do factory reset, but thanks for your advice. The third comment is by Zdravkor or what 8582. I'm sorry. I've got the GX650PY version for a month now and I couldn't be happier with it. Never had any issue with it at all. And I updated the BIOS 1 or 2 times already. It's working flawlessly since the day I brought it home. I really can't understand why you're having so much trouble with yours. Actually, I understand. Everyone's copy is different. My copy comes with 4090, that is a PY version. This is much more demanding GPU, I believe. Every laptop is made different. So you must be really lucky that you have a smooth running laptop. Congrats, and yeah, thank you for your comment, by the way. Thank you for watching the video as well. The next comment is by, I'm going to butcher this name as well, Zlat Kokalcin Oski 3571 3 days ago. Hi, are you having any lag problem while working? I have the same Asus laptop, only the 4080 GPU version. You must be having the PZ version. And I can't even run basic things like Photoshop and Chrome in the background. If I open Lightroom, mouse starts lagging like crazy. I did the latest BIOS. I think he means update, but nothing good. Like the previous commenter mentioned, probably try doing a factory reset. That helps, but I don't think I'm facing the same issue as yours. For me, it's working perfectly fine. I fire up like 5 to 6 apps, run everything simultaneously. So I don't face any problem. It could be that you're running in a different power mode, like silent mode or the standard mode. Try running all the apps with the turbo mode. Should be working fine for you. And also use cooling pad. DVR1337, only having graphic issues. Can't get it to work. I feel like many people are facing the graphic issues. Like the previous commenter has mentioned, there might be some graphic driver compatibility issue over different versions like 23.4 point something and above can help you solve that issue, but nothing below them. So try other commenter's solution, that is to deactivate the Radeon graphic driver so that only the Nvidia graphic driver is used and only that GPU is being used. So try that. I don't know. And please do comment looking for a follow-up comment on the same issue, because looks like many people are facing this graphic issue. Just a tip of advice by DSKYX. This can be for everyone. This is a big one. So to paraphrase, make sure that you buy a laptop with a brand which has a good service in your country, and make sure that the laptop model you buy have a good serviceability. That means it's a very popular model for which a lot of spare parts are being available in your country. Otherwise, it is going to be hell. Whether it is Asus or Dell, depending on the model, the spare part availability is limited. If any model, even the high-end model, stops working, it will be really bad for you to get a working product. That has happened to me for Scar 18. So that's the only model available in Thailand. I got it, it did not work, so they had to replace me with Zephyrus Duo 16. So please go through this comment. He has elaborated his experience using ROG 5 in his country. And the next comment from Yan Kims. Have the same and even another problem with Duo 16 2022. Tired of this shit and buy MacBook Pro. Brother or sister, MacBook Pro is not working for me. I'm sorry. I used MacBook Pro M1 Max and the programs that I run in this laptop doesn't work in that laptop. I mean, like, they just crash. It just keep on saying that the memory is not sufficient and every program crashes in M1 Max MacBook Pro, and I just hated it, and that's the reason I invested so much on getting Scar 18. And again, I'm repeating this like a broken record, but still, that's the truth. That stopped working within a month, and Asus couldn't replace it with another Scar 18, so they had to give me the Zephyrus 16. Thank you for all the people who have watched the previous video and commented on them. Let me move on to the previous one. This was my first Zephyrus Duo 16 video. I posted this because I was facing issues on the same day I bought this laptop. Let me read out the comments. Games Bench 9731 1 month ago has commented that after my bad experience with Asus, just one rule: never buy Asus. Actually, you know what? I've been using Asus ZenBook for over 3 years. It's the lightest laptop I have ever used, and it's a breeze to work with it. You know, even today I used it for my office work and it just works. I love that laptop. Asus is my go-to brand for the past like 6 years. Yes, there are issues if you buy ROG laptops, but if you go with the ZenBooks, they are just amazing. I have no negative feelings towards Asus as such. I just hope they can be more consistent with their laptop products and also provide better service in countries like Thailand. The second comment from Z-Cross again. Use the laptop driver only for the AMD Radeon graphics. Yes, I think it's the same comment. Please follow this comment. If you're having any graphic issue, try to work the solution out and let me know if this works. But I don't want to try it myself because, like the saying goes, if it ain't broken, don't try to fix it. Alright, it ain't broken for me, so I'm not trying to fix it. If anyone is facing this graphic card issue, please let me know in the comments below. I hope that it works for you. Really hope so, because this is a very, very, very expensive laptop. Next comment from Georgia Dusay 1003 10 days ago. I hope this don't happen to me. I just ordered it. It's weird though. Whenever I was looking up reviews on YouTube, I was thinking I wasn't seeing as much review as I thought I would. Good or bad? Especially since it's a really popular laptop. I probably would have still ordered it though. But it's good to stay informed. I'm hoping it's a case by case thing and that mine works. Gorgia Dusay. Next comment is by Toonster 2000. 2 top-end laptops not working for you? Common denominator, maybe your environment? Did they hang standalone? Or if not, then drivers to the third monitor may be the culprit? This is on my list to buy versus ZenBook Pro Duo, so hope the issues get resolved. Hey, this is an updated video, so please watch this till the end. Toonster, it's a happy news that this laptop works, and thanks for your comments. You can totally go for this ROG laptop, but when it comes to ZenBook Pro Duo, judging by my experience using a ZenBook, which I also have, not the version that you are having. I'm having the ZenBook 14, that featherlight ZenBook that's under a kilo. That is working really well for me. And only the ROG laptops have been causing some issues for me. So if you're going to purchase ZenBook Pro Duo, I have better confidence in that over this ROG Zephyrus 16 Duo. If you're thinking this versus that, go for that. If you really want to buy this one, I say go for this because this is working for me with just a handful of issues. So happy news for you. And no, it is not the external display driver that is causing this issue. Even if I'm running this laptop standalone, I am facing these issues. Thanks for your comment. Next comment from Carlad8904. I was planning to buy this a month ago. Thank God I waited. Ha ha ha. Thankfully you waited. It's a happy news for you too. You can go for this laptop, and I can say that this is an amazing laptop and everything I runs on this laptop works for me except for a few annoyances. I'm glad you waited, but you have a good news now. Next comment by Zero. Is it the mux switch? Maybe you're running off of the AMD graphics and not Nvidia. In Armory Crate, change GPU mode to Ultimate. Mux switches always have screen crashes and issues between Nvidia and AMD or Intel. It might be true because what happens when you plug and unplug the laptop is it switches between these Ultimate, Standard and Turbo profiles. So I always use the Turbo profile to get the maximum output out of the laptop and to make the fan run all the time so that the laptop is cooler. When I unplug it, what happens is it just switches between the profile to Standard, and what happens in Standard, it starts to use AMD. This could be something that I need to tinker upon, so have a consistent profile across the plugged and unplugged mode. When it comes to me, I always run the laptop with Nvidia graphic turned on. The only time when I'm facing these issues are when I'm unplugging the laptop. Otherwise, it's fine. If you're just using the Nvidia graphic card, it's fine. Next comment by Su331. He has commented everything in Chinese or Japanese, I don't know, some Asian language, but I'm using the Google Translate here to translate, and I'm going to read that. I also bought this computer last month. On the first day I received it, I had a blue screen within 3 hours of use, and then the keyboard completely failed. In brackets, the driver and Win11 have been updated, and then I reset the computer and it returned to normal. After another day, the keyboard failed again, and this time the reset was useless. It was a terrible experience. Asus is going to review. Like I said, everyone is having different copies. What I'm reporting is just a part of what others are facing. Asus support has responded. Hello, I'm sorry to hear that you have encountered problems with the use of this product. If the problem is still not resolved, you can contact the local service unit. If you are willing to let the editor help, please provide the repair number to help you track the progress of the case. Thank you. I'm glad that Asus support has reached out to this person. This person has replied again. That's right. I hope that you can reply me about the problem of GX650PY, the exact same laptop that I'm using. Have you solved it officially? If it is solved, I will order this computer again. Please don't let the loyal customers down. It's a strong statement, but I'm glad this conversation happened, and I'm glad that it happened in my video. Thank you Asus, and thank you Su331. Initially I was going to ignore your comment because it's all Chinese, but thanks to Google Translate I was able to translate in my mobile, and then I'm able to read it out loud. Thank you for your comment, and thank you Asus for reaching out to all your users. Next comment by Ghost Getty 4310. Wow, this is unacceptable for a laptop at this price point. Yeah, it is unacceptable. It's $4,600 in Thailand. It is unacceptable, but you know what? It's okay. You know, I can let it pass. Because for me, the annoying part still exists, but the working part works for me. So I'm okay with it, but I really feel for all the people who have commented in this video. I really hope that your issues get resolved as soon as possible. If it is not getting resolved, please reach out to Asus in your own region. They will help you out like they did help me out for Scar 18. Things like these shouldn't happen for such an expensive laptop. I totally agree with it. I want to say that I was wrong about this laptop, but fortunately, I was not wrong. Number one, it collects a ton of dust. Of course, every laptop collects dust. Every laptop with fan ports that has holes collect dust, but this laptop collects dust below the laptop, between the displays in the laptop, on the displays of the laptop, and on the keyboard, and the hinges, and the screen raise mechanism. Everywhere it collects dust, every single place. There's a high chance that if you take this laptop for traveling, you might end up with a ton of dust regardless where you put it, especially on the touchscreen surface of the secondary display. Collecting dust is something that you need to know. Because of that, I started keeping this microfiber cloth with me and this duster with me. So this is actually a duster that came with my camera and lens, and it's very convenient. It's portable. I always keep it with me so that I can dust off all my lenses, and I use the same to dust off the laptop screens as well. This is something I want to put it out. If you want to purchase this laptop, you have to make sure that you are prepared to dust them all. Number two, when you connect the power cord with the laptop and your profile is different when it's connected with the power source and without the power source. So for example, I am using turbo mode because I want the most power from this laptop when I'm editing videos. So I always plug in the laptop with a huge 330 watt power brick that is supplied with the laptop to get the most out of this laptop, of course. And I put it in the turbo mode, I run it. And if I'm going to unplug this laptop, the profile just changes to default immediately. And yeah, there is a very good reason. The screen as well, changes. The reason is it changes from 240 Hertz to 60 Hertz. So the screen has shut off and then power back on with the lower Hertz. And then when you connect the power back, it has to change back to 240. So every time you remove the power cord and plug it back with the power, of course, it's gonna have a lot of problem. The screen shuts off, powers on, shuts off, powers on, shuts off, powers on. It's so annoying. And if you are the person who do it more often, then probably it would be more convenient for you to set the screen refresh rate at a specific hertz, compatible with both the power sources, with the power, without the power, have a consistent profile when you're working or not working, like whatever, when plugged in or not plugged in. The third annoyance is how to carry this laptop. Okay, this laptop is heavy. There's literally no space to keep your fingers around. So I'm showing here, I have to carry with two hands all the time. Alright, my fingers are placed here. And if I'm going to put my hand here, it's like tiny bit of contact to carry this laptop, and it's so inconvenient. This is not a portable device. This is a deskable device. That's what I would call it, because you cannot hand hold this and just hold this as it is like a normal laptop. You can't do this because there's no place for you to put your fingers, rest your fingers to carry them. It's inconvenient. There is no other way that this laptop can be placed in your hands. You cannot hold this and work. It has to be put on the desk, and you have to work by placing this laptop on the desk. Software, next point. When it comes to software, connectivity to peripherals, for example, it's one of the most professional mouse that exists here. This is Master 3S from Logitech. This one, or any other Bluetooth mouse that doesn't have a dongle, or even with the dongle, the Bluetooth driver just disappears again and again and again. This has been my complaint since day one, that the drivers disappear so random, and these drivers are not available in Asus website. So while I was editing this video, this happened again. The Bluetooth driver just disappeared. You can see here, compared to my previous screen sharing, this Bluetooth icon is not existent right over here. So the workaround that I use is just very simple. Once I click on this settings screen, go to the Bluetooth device, and I should be able to access my mouse. Right now it says it's not connected for some reason. Perhaps because there is no driver over here. So let me close this. So how do I bring it back? There is no Bluetooth here. Okay. So update driver. Search automatically. Okay, of course, Windows is up to date. Let me find something. Update driver. Browse my computer. Pick from local. Yeah, of course. It failed. Port reset just failed. It's not USB. Okay, so once that is done, once that update USB driver attempt was made, we can see that Bluetooth is back. Now I'm able to use the mouse. I am using the mouse right now. This is another point that you can note down. Now that there is no failure to connect with the USB port that you can see here. So this could be another fix. I don't know how common this issue is, but this happens very often in my computer, at least. It's so annoying that it happens very often. But usually the first thing that I would do is just click on the settings, go to the Bluetooth and devices page, and it should be already connected and you should be able to continue using the mouse. But if that doesn't work, just go to the device manager. Of course, the Bluetooth will not be there. Just scroll down to which USB port is failed. So try to update the software by clicking on browse my computer for driver and pick from a list of available drivers and then update from that list. It will fail, but this Bluetooth will come back again. I will leave for the audience to figure this out. Screen scaling. This is so annoying because both the screens cannot be scaled to the same level. So right now I have put the screen scaling from the Windows menu to 100%, which is making, just because the display is very high resolution, all the characters, all the letters, all the alphabets are looking so tiny. So I want to scale it to 125% to have an optimal view from a decent distance from the laptop. It doesn't work for the secondary screen. So the screen scaling, even if you try it for the secondary screen, it just goes haywire. Doesn't have equal screen scaling thing for both the displays. And also HDR. It is annoying, alright? HDR, when you watch movies, it's really good. But when you're not watching movies, if you turn on HDR, it's pretty bad. It's like watching a display from like 5 years ago. And I wonder why. HDR, I appreciate that this HDR is there, but I would rather have a consistent display rather than having this HDR enabled. Or at least have an auto HDR function that switches between the different screen modes when I'm using a specific software or watching a movie or watching a video or whatever. When I'm editing, I have to turn off the HDR mode. I have to turn off the HDR mode for everything else apart from watching a movie. But if I turn off the HDR mode and watch a movie, the movie colors are just so pixelated and blotchy, making you wonder, is this even a good display? These are all annoying, of course. The fan noise again. The fan noise is pretty loud, it's pitchy. Previously I was using the Scar 18. That sound was bearable. It was loud too, but it was bearable. It was having enough surface to cool down, and so it has an amazing overheating threshold that it was most likely cooler at most situations rather than heating up all the time. But this laptop is really compact, but the problem is the fan noise is pitchy, it's loud, and it becomes hot where you keep your fingers when you type. So the keyboard actually becomes really hot when you work for a long time. I edit videos that are shot with mobile phones in H.265 codec, and it takes so much power to actually edit these videos, and so it screams. Alright, I need to use an external cooling pad to cool the laptop. This cooling pad is amazing actually. It's got like 2 levels of fans. It's convenient to carry as well. It collapses and you can expand it, and it's cheap as well. It's a Chinese product. It's made of plastic and it is light because it's made of plastic, but it doesn't I don't have any confidence that it will not break, but it's cheap enough that I can replace it when it breaks, which is good. And also it has this cable that connects with the laptop or any other USB power source to run the fans, to cool down the laptop, and it does make a difference. Alright, yeah, of course there is additional fan noise, but it definitely makes a difference. I really recommend, if you're using this laptop, put it on a cooling pad. That's important. But otherwise, this is not a quiet laptop. If you're going to record audio, make sure that you put this laptop far away. These are all annoying for sure, but this, by the end of the day, does not affect my productivity. And one more advice for anyone who is going to use this laptop: to save your battery's longevity, I highly recommend you to limit the power to 80% by going to My Asus software. So once you get in there, you can go to the battery here, battery care, and you can enable this battery care mode. So once you click on this battery care mode, you will limit your battery full charge up to 80%, because I'm always keeping this laptop connected to the power source because I'm using this laptop to edit the videos most of the time. Keeping that limited at 80% increases the longevity of the battery life itself. This is actually another project that I'm working on currently. It's about a trip in mangrove forest. Here, if I'm just scrubbing through the timeline, you can see that there is a ton of effects included. You can see if I turn this off, this is how the original footage will look like. It's horrendous. Also, it is shot with phone camera at H.265, also pressurizing the processor in many ways. I can easily scrub through all these footages. It's pretty smooth, there is no stuck in frames. This was not possible in MacBook Pro M1 Max laptop. So digital glitch. MacBook Pro does not allow me to play this digital glitch at all. Here we can already see that there's drop frames. This is a highly demanding effect. We can see here the frame rate will be displayed once I start playing. It's already reduced to 14 and my computer is screaming. It's increased to 26, which is fine. This glitching effect consumes a lot of power. So we can see there will be a sudden drop in frame rate, especially in the beginning, 17.6 frames per second. And it's pretty consistent. No matter how many times I do it, it's never going below 14 frames per second. So these are like still scrubbable. These are still playable. We can see the output in real time. But in MacBook or other slower processors, I was not able to bring this in and look at it real time. The frame rate dropped to 1 frames per second. Okay, so that's about it for the performance. I'm really enjoying using this laptop. The way that this laptop helps me to edit videos is just amazing. It's a breeze to edit videos in this laptop. This wouldn't be my first choice when it comes to a laptop purchase, but since it was given to me as a replacement for Scar 18, for which I completely paid all my hard-earned money, I'm happy to keep this instead of Scar 18. The more I use it, the more I like it. You know, the one main thing I like about this laptop compared to Scar 18 is this laptop is portable. This is completely made of metal, which is more confident inducing. I'm stuck with this for at least 5 years from now. I don't want to replace this laptop for the next 5 years. It's an investment, and we don't plan to change this device any sooner. We can't afford to change our laptops every now and then because they are extremely expensive. Having a good device is a must for us, and good device come at a cost. We do expect that cost to convert to convenience. Power delivery. This is something that I want to talk about. It will work. Put it in silent mode, put it in low power mode. You can get your job done, such as like browsing or just making some documentations, PowerPoints, Excel. All these things will work, but not too graphic demanding applications. Don't use the USB power source for that. Speakers are okay, not too loud, not too bassy. If you are comparing this with MacBook wins hands down, but it's good enough. All the microphone ports work. I can directly use this is actually connected with my laptop. I wish they had some option to turn off webcam, either physically or by software. They don't have that option. So what I had to do was to deactivate that in device management. I just disabled the driver so that I cannot use the webcam in the laptop. I am really happy that they have given 3 important peripheral connections in the rear end. Number 1 is the HDMI that's available in the rear end. Number 2 is the Ethernet connectivity that's also available in the rear end. Number 3 is one USB 8 port that's also there, which is useful for me to connect the cooling pad USB type A in the rear end so that it's not connected to the side. One thing I wish is the barrel connector for the power plug in that goes on the side. If it goes to the rear end, I would really appreciate it, because the keyboard heats up when it's charging and running some high demanding programs. I don't want that to happen, so that should be in the rear end. One thing I request Asus to do, if they are even, watching this video, is asking them to upload the driver software for the Bluetooth especially, because that's the biggest problem that I'm facing. I am really concerned about the dust that is getting collected between the hinges on all the moving parts. Alright, so I don't know how bad it's going to affect me in the long run, but this is a mobile computing device, which means I want to take it wherever I'm traveling and I want to use it. And if it's going to collect dust like crazy, I would want Asus to do something about it, like, put some membranes. I don't know. Yeah, so yeah, that's about it. And also give some space to hold the laptop. I can't hold the laptop. It's crazy. I can't like handle the laptop in hand. It's a desktop, multiple screen desktop in a mobile version that you can carry. I don't know. It's a good laptop, but it's hard to use as a laptop. Yeah. So I hope I have answered some of the questions in the previous video comments. Please like and share. It helps. If you have any other questions, please list it in the comments below. I will try to answer. I will try to run some tests if you want.